All right, aloha, sixth graders. Welcome back to Mr. Hansen's math class YouTube channel. You're probably asking yourself, why are you dressed in a Hawaiian shirt? Since the weather's nice out, looking out now, it looks like it's about like 70 degrees and sunny. I was feeling the Hawaiian theme for this week, so I'm setting up some extra credit points for you guys. Anything to do with Hawaiian, take a picture of it. If you have a Hawaiian shirt, take a picture of you wearing it. If you don't have a Hawaiian shirt, anything, make something Hawaiian, celebrate a Hawaiian themed a supper, anything to do with Hawaiian, take a picture of it, send it to my email. I'll give you at the most 10 bonus points to any assignment. Whether it's a past assignment, this assignment, whatever it is, 10 extra bonus points. So again, Hawaiian theme, anything, snap a picture and send it to me. All right, so it's setting up a challenge for you guys. All right, but let's get to the lesson for this week. This will be the only lesson for this week. The other assignment that you have to do will be just review. So we're just focusing on this lesson for this week that is new. Lesson 8.5 is area of composite figures. Okay, so you can find the areas of irregular polygons by breaking them apart into rectangles, parallelograms, and triangles, which we've learned in the past how to find the area of rectangles, parallelograms, and triangles. Okay, so for example 1, this is a composite figure. Okay, it's an irregular polygon. It's not one of those. It's not a rectangle. It has different sides, number of sides. Okay, so to find the area of this polygon, you're gonna kind of do a little bit of investigating, a little bit of breaking down. Okay, you're breaking down this figure into different shapes. Okay, so what I would do when you look at this, where could we break down to make two different shapes? I would say the best option is right here. So then you would have this part, this would be a rectangle, and then you would have this part be a rectangle as well. Okay? So just focus on the figures separately. So don't worry about them together. Use them apart from each other. So let's focus on the red rectangle first. Okay, if one side, let's say the length is 1 5/10 centimeters and the width is 1 8/10 centimeters, how do we find the area of a rectangle? We go length times width. Okay, and this is just reviewing what we did in the past. So then you plug in the length with it, which is 1.5 times 1.8. So then I can't do that mentally, so go on the side here, multiply them together. 5 times 8 is 40. 8 times 1 plus 4 is 12. Cross off what you've used. Bring down to 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. Add them. You get 0, 7, 2. How many numbers are behind the decimal? 1, 2, 1, 2. So then the area for this, the red part, would be 2 7/10 centimeters. Okay? So then that would be it for the red portion of the polygon, irregular polygon. Now let's go to the green. Okay? So if we have, at the green portion, if we have rectangle again, so it's area equals length times width. So the length is 2 centimeters. And the width is 0.5 centimeters. We just have to multiply them together. So if we go 2 times 0.5, we should get 5 times 2 is 10. Or so we should go up here actually, just like this. It'd be 10 and then 0 and 1. How many numbers are behind the decimal? 1. So our answer would be 1 centimeter. Now, that's for the green portion, and the red portion is 2.7. So, you have 2.7 for the red centimeters, plus the green portion, which is 1 centimeter. Add them together, you should get 3 7/10 centimeters. Okay? that's how you would do the first portion of it. And it's 3.7 centimeters squared. I just want to make sure my answer was correct. Sorry, I left the screen there. Okay, so then that would be your answer. Again, you break down the irregular figure into two polygons that you know the area for. Okay? Letter B. Okay, an irregular polygon, and you have a bunch of numbers here. Okay, so you have to, again, break it down into two different figures that you know the area for. Okay, well, since you have this point here, what shape has a point at the top? A triangle. So you can separate this triangle, or this figure, into a rectangle and a triangle. Okay, so if you know, now looking at your square, or your rectangle, not a square, your rectangle. So from all this right here, I won't go over the blue, you know that the length is 10 centimeters and the width is 8 centimeters. Now looking at the triangle, since this blue part is the same length as the width of the rectangle, you know that this blue part, or this dotted part, would be 8 centimeters for your base. Now you have to figure out what this height is. Okay? To figure out the height, you know that this whole black dotted line is 13 centimeters. Well, from this point here, to this point here, you know it's 10 centimeters. So you need to figure out what the height, or what's left of that dotted line. So what could you do? You have to investigate. You have to subtract 13 minus 10, which you should get 3 centimeters. That's your height for your triangle. And now you have your shapes, and now you know your formula. Okay? So let's go with the red portion first. Let's do the rectangle first. So area equals length times width, because that's the formula for an area of a rectangle. The length is, we can go 10 centimeters, and then the width is 8 centimeters. And we multiply 10 times 8, we would get 80 centimeters squared. Okay, so we have the rectangle done. Now we have to do the triangle. Now remember, the area of a triangle is area equals 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 stays the same, parentheses, the base, what holds down the triangle. You have to look to the side a little bit. The base would be 8 times whatever the height is, which we figured out was 3. Okay, so now you have area equals 1/2, and then what's 8 times 3? 24. And then ask yourself, what's half of 24? So you could go 24 divided by 2, and we can do that mentally. It would be 12 centimeters squared. Okay, now with these two numbers, with the 80 from the rectangle, and then the 24 or 12 from the triangle, you add them together, you would get 92 centimeters squared. And that would be the area of that irregular polygon. Okay, again, the hardest part about this is is seeing where you can divide the irregular polygon into two different shapes, and then figuring out the missing parts. Okay, but slow down, look at the shape as a whole, and try your best. Okay? And then last example. Okay, they're going to give you a graph. Okay, it's going to be a graphed irregular polygon. Each line, it depends on looking at the graph, it's the same thing. Okay, you're trying to find the area of each of this figure, of the polygon, irregular polygon. Okay, so for this one, you should be able to break it down into 3 different shapes. Okay, me personally, you could go like this. So you have 1, 2, 3. Or you could go like this. 1, 2, 3. You could do it either way. I'm going to go to my first option and make it like that. Just like that. Okay, so now you have to find the dimension of each figure to fill out your formula. So number 1, 2, and 3. So let's look at box number 1 first, or rectangle number 1. Let's find the length first. Okay, so it starts at 2, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the side, and then the width would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have the dimensions for number 1. Let's find the dimensions for number 2. Start here, we have 1, 2, and then going up, the length would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it'd be 6 on the side. Now let's do number 3. So again, lengthwise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then width would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so now let's look at rectangle number 1. And I'm going to use, this one will be green. So rectangle number 1. Again, area equals length times width. The length for rectangle number 1 is 8. Width is 6. So 8 times 6, you get 48. Okay? Rectangle number 2. Area equals length times width. Area equals the length would be 6. Width would be 2. It would be 6 times 2, which is 12. And then rectangle number 3 would be area equals length times width. Area equals the length would be 6, and the width would be 4. So 6 times 4, which is 24. So now you have to add up all the shapes together. So you would have 48, 12, and 24. So you add them all together. You would get 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So you had 84 units, because we don't know if it's centimeters, inches, whatever it is, squared. Area is always squared. And then that would be your answer. Okay? That's your lesson for today. Again, we're getting now into deeper content, harder stuff, you guys. So make sure you ask questions if you have any. If I need to set up an individual Zoom, I'll absolutely do that. All right, this video shout out goes to Morgan. I hope you're doing great, Morgan, staying healthy. Again, remember, Hawaiian theme. So anything that you can think of to send me a picture of that deals with Hawaiian theme, send me a picture, up to 10 bonus points for how creative you get. All right, miss you guys. I hope to see you soon and hope to hear from you soon. Peace out.